What's up, YouTube? So I'm in Pendale. I just was at my Ski-Doo repair guy, Sea-Doo, and just told him about the crumbs who stole my shit. So this is the world we live in today. It's okay for you to rob convenience stores and sneaker stores and hat stores and steal Amazon packages in neighborhoods, and there's no lawful repercussion. And then if you get a hold of these crumbs and you hurt them, they can sue you or they can prosecute you. So the crooks, the thieves, the losers are just out there cherry picking. They're Christmas shopping everywhere. I've heard stories about Walmart, people just walking in and walking out because it's under $300. Wawa's with people walking in and just grabbing what they want and walking out. The police, the government agencies, just like they did with catalytic converters. The catalytic converter thieves, it went so high up in government, the insurance companies rattled their cages because of all the money these insurance lobbyists people give to the government agencies, and said, you better do something about it. Right? And what did they do? FBI, task force, local law enforcement. Dude, within a year, they put a handle on it. A year. 1 year of the world going out of fucking control, stealing catalytic converters from everybody, right? And then they must have did something to the market, because now the precious metal market for catalytic converters is rock bottom. So look at how much influence is out there, right? And there's things that can be done about it. So the big insurance companies are like the biggest powerful people in the world because they insure everybody, right? They insure businesses, they insure vehicles. They, just think about all the insurance that you have to have, all the extra paper that you actually have to have for things, and then you have to buy another warranty on top of a warranty to cover your new vehicle or your new Sea-Doo or your new washer and dryer. There's so much paper out there, right? So the insurance companies, right, are going to the government agencies and said, do fucking something about it. You're bankrupting us, right? The crooks are out there bankrupting us. This is going to drive insurance rates up for your people to where they can't afford to drive. You're going to have more people on the road that have no insurance. You're going to have a big problem. So what they do, FBI, so many different task forces, undercovers, you name it, boom. They went out there and busted these big guys who had huge scrapyard businesses and junkyards. And these guys were employing their people to go out and steal, giving them tow trucks with wheel lifts, you name it. They were banging money. So here's my point. You want Philadelphia, because I'm from the Philadelphia area, I'm just saying, you want New Jersey cleaned up? Vote somebody in who's going to do something about it. Don't vote somebody that's going to give the people who don't want to work and the people who don't want to better themselves cell phones, electricity, places to live. Vote for somebody that's for you. So they're not for you if they're letting people beg for money on your street corner. They're not for you if they're stealing your Amazon packages consistently in your neighborhood, which is going on all over the place. They're not for you when your taxes are through the fucking roof and there's trash everywhere you go. Do you see what I'm saying here? But you can't park your car in Pennsauken, New Jersey on your front lawn. But these motherfuckers can come steal, right? So they stole a car from my shop. They ID'd the guy the day before. They know who he is. Here we go. It took 30 days to get a police report. They still have nothing. You think they did anything about it? They went, oh yeah, let's just file this shit. Who cares? He's got insurance. Right? They don't care. There's nobody out there looking for this dude. The crackheads only hang out in certain areas. Guys who are living on the streets only hang out in certain areas. So where is he? These other crumbs that are contractors that drive up and down Route 130? Yeah. You don't think there's cameras somewhere? They went somewhere, right? There has to be cameras at the bridges or something like that. Do you think that they're looking for a white Dodge Charger and a white Chevy Express van at 12:30 at night? No one's looking They don't give a shit. You know what they're going to do? They're going to crawl up next to their husband and wife or their girlfriend or their boyfriend, wherever the fuck they are, and they're going to sleep their 12-hour shift off and say, I got to deal with this shit tomorrow. And then the same crumbs that I chase down and arrest are back out on the streets stealing Amazon packages and robbing Wawa and fucking up the whole world, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. So they stole my skis, right? I don't steal from people. I actually go to work 60, 70 hours a week and try and take care of people, but they're just cherry picking. The used car dealer across the street, some scumbag, drove by their shop, right, and said, oh, well, there's a nice Dodge Charger out there. And I think it's probably the same Dodge Charger that pulled into my lot that had their wheels on there because they were one-off custom wheels that came on these Chargers, right? 20s, some special edition shit. And it was probably these guys because they're driving up and down. They're local. They drive up and down the highway, so they're just saying, oh, well, I'm going to go Christmas shopping here, and I'm going to go Christmas shopping there, and oh, well, I'm just going to steal this because I can, because they know nobody's going to do a fucking thing about it. Nobody. They're not going to get arrested. And if they get caught, they're going to just let them back out. Stop voting in the crumbs, because the crumbs are why the world is what it is today. And let's just say this. The Philadelphia mayor is patting himself on the back about 95. Dude. And here's another thing. Everywhere I go, there is road construction everywhere now. And people are working. How the fuck is that? How is that? Because they get federal money and they don't do anything with the money, or they just drag projects out. So now that South Jersey and Philadelphia are on the spotlight, they're like, okay, well, why, you guys have money allocated for this and you haven't done nothing in the last 15 years, and this project should have been done 5 years ago. It's 15 years later. So it's just weird that there's so much of that going on in South Jersey right now and Philadelphia. Everywhere you go, there's shoulder work and guys working and doing their job, and then independent contractors out there too, especially going to the shore. So you tell me. But they have money for that, but how about cleaning up the streets? How about getting the crackheads and the dope dealers and the prostitutes out of Kensington and off your local streets, and getting the homeless people to stop begging for money and standing in the middle of fucking traffic in 6 and 8 lane highways, distracting drivers from driving with signs that says they're homeless and they need money. This is all the powers that be control all this. I think that there was a point in time where people did not want to see it. I'm not saying you and me. I'm saying that people of powers that be did not want to drive down their streets and see someone at the end of the street camping the fuck out with a sign, homeless sign. Guarantee the mayor house, wherever they live, mayors, you just pick one, there's nobody begging for money at the end of the street or down the street from them. You know why? Because they're going to dial the police chief and say, send a fucking cruiser over there and get rid of this. I don't want to see this shit. But they'll do it in their neighborhoods, but they won't do it in your neighborhood. They don't care. The trash. The code enforcement officer drives down my street every day. So I hear every week. There was chairs and furniture green at the end of this guy's driveway, and he's a fucking idiot to think that someone was just going to take care of it for him. You piece of shit. You know what? Myself, April, another neighbor, had to call the fucking township and rag on about how skanky it is on my street to see this shit every fucking day, and this loser does nothing about it. And they said, well, the residents can't do anything about that. The actual homeowner has to fucking call. This crumb got willed the property when his father died. He was probably living in his car before this. So he didn't care if he had to walk by the same furniture his mother and father died in that he probably pissed and shit himself in, and his son across the street from my house. Every day I had to see that. And then the neighbor up the street leaving a bag of trash in the middle of the street right at the corner of their property while they were out back playing music and drinking and having company over. They walked right by it like it was fucking furniture in their house. You know who cleaned that up? I do. You know who cleans the fucking trash up out front of my shop every goddamn day that blows down Route 130 from the scumbags and the Wawas and the Home Depots and the Lowe's and the fucking crackhead motel up the street and the dope bags that are in Wawa parking lot and all that? The police and the agencies are doing nothing about it. Nothing about it. And it gets worse. So I've lived in Cinnaminson or Pennsauken for 17 years. I've had my business for 17 years. And it's been 17 years worth of hell in my business with the scumbags breaking in and stealing shit. It used to be the cars and the radios, and it evolved into say, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to bust his windows and go inside the shop and see what else I can get. They don't care. They know that even if they're on camera, the chances are that the police are going to do any fucking thing about it is zero. They're not going to do nothing about it. Nothing. They don't care. It'll be another piece of paper shoved into their file. They filled out the report. A detective didn't even show up to my shop today. How about that? Did not even show up to my shop. Not to take prints off of anything. You know, I paid tax dollars in Cinnaminson, right? Pay tax dollars in Pennsauken. Not because what's he going to say? Oh, Mr. Nastasi, you have another problem? Yeah, dude, I'm a fucking target out here. How about have a cruiser sit out here every night at midnight so there's a police present? You have a business owner that is hit all the time. Something's going on. You pull over the crumbs in my parking lot and I watch it go down. They pull over people with no license, no registration, this, that, and the other thing. They tell the driver to go inside. They take the one guy with a warrant. They don't take them. I've seen it go on all the time. Or let them go. They pull them over for a reason and then let them go. They pull me over, and you know what they do? They write me a fucking ticket. They don't let me go. I got a speeding ticket in an employee's car in Philly. Well, they didn't let me go. They sent my employee that I was over the speed limit to his house, and then he brought the ticket into me. But what do you think that's going on in the rest of this world? They're throwing that shit right in the trash. And then when they get pulled over and say you have unpaid parking tickets, they don't want to do the paperwork. They let them go. They just keep letting people do what they want to do. And so what if the courthouses are overwhelmed and the jails are overpacked? So what? So what? The country's falling apart. Your neighborhood's falling apart. And it's because of the people that you empower that make decisions for you. You can't park your car in Pennsauken, New Jersey on your street. If I park my car on my lawn, the next day I have a picture sent to my, and a warning comes directly in the mail. That means that someone drove by, took a picture, went back, and spent his time typing up a nice little letter saying, it's code enforcement. You cannot park your, but you can have trashy furniture out front of your house on the curb. Right? You can play music all hours of the night. You can rob people. You can smoke crack and shoot heroin up wherever you want. You can beg for money. And you know what they do? They drive right by it. Yep, everyone's like, oh, Trump. Trump was trying really hard. And I'm for whoever is making my life better and my neighborhoods better. I don't see that. This Philadelphia mayor is patting himself back on the back. Your city is a shithole. Your police department, they're doing nothing out there. Go drive through your city streets and take a look around, dude. You turn a blind eye. You tell your police force to turn a blind eye. And now we're seeing wheelie kings riding up and down Route 130 on stolen quads, stolen dirt bikes. Those dudes didn't buy that shit. Guys who buy dirt bikes, who spend $10,000 and $12,000, don't take them on the roads and do wheelies and scrape the bumper. They don't do that. You know why? They're ruining their $10,000 investment. So the people who steal those bikes don't give a fuck, because once they ruin it, because you can only ride a wheelie for so long on those engines before the bottom ends fail, and it's expensive, and you need talented people to rebuild those motors. So you know what they do? They go out and steal another one. And the quads. Wheelie kings driving across the highways. They let it go on. This is right down the street from me, right in Camden, Merchantville, Collinswood, and it's more and more and more I see. And the police don't do nothing about it. So if the police, and I've watched this, I've seen a bunch of dirt bikes with no registration, no tags, drive across the highway the wrong way, go over to Wawa and get gas, and a police cruiser pulling 2 seconds behind them, and not a fucking thing was said or done. Zero. How do you think they got there? They drove. They're not supposed to be driving their off-road vehicles on the road. Did nothing. I watched it with my own eyes. So what do? You keep letting this go, you keep letting it go, you keep letting it go. The people are going to get pissed off. They're getting pissed off. They're tired of getting ripped off. They're tired of their cars getting stolen because no one's doing nothing about it. and they don't care. They're like, whatever, they got insurance. And if you don't have insurance, you're even more screwed. Yep. But they'll pull me over and they'll write me a ticket. You know why? Because I'm going to wind up paying it. The other people won't. I watched them pull over the same guy in my parking lot twice that had New Jersey tags, Pennsylvania inspection sticker, New Jersey front plate, PA back plate. They didn't do a fucking thing to this guy. They let him go. I watched it with my own eyes. I probably have it on camera. They let him go. And then and then the first time they arrested his buddy because he had a warrant. And then the second time they got this guy, they just let him go. Why are they letting people go? You broke the law. You have to answer for it. You're driving around with no insurance, no registration, mismatched tags. Give him a ticket for every fucking thing he did wrong. Oh, you don't have a driver's license? I'm going to fucking arrest you. Nope, never did it. You so know why they got him the second time? Because it wasn't the same cop who pulled him over, right? Because I seen it, it's like, I know that car. There's so many pieces of shit that I see on the road with mismatched registration shit going on. They should have banged his ass the first time, but they let him go. And then another police, and then keep in mind, they travel Route 130, their destinations are the same. They either go into Camden to get their drugs, or they're going to Burlington to get their drugs, or vice versa. No different than you drive down the same street to go to work every day. Well, these people are commuting the same things all the time. So they got him twice, had the opportunity to slam his balls, and they let him go the first time, and then they let him go the second time. Until the same officer catches his ass again and says, hey, jerk off, didn't I catch you fucking 2 months ago in Meineke's parking lot? And your car's still all fucked up, and you still don't have the right registration, you still don't have all this stuff? Turn around, you're fucking under arrest. I'm tired of fucking with you. But no, they're not doing that. The older cops in a generation, they would do that. They would grab you up, smack some sense into your ass, and send you to the fucking jail. Now, they have a hissy fit because you're going 85 in your vehicle in a 65 or whatever the case may be. But you have clean driving record. All your shit's up to date. Your car's not a pile of shit. Doesn't smell like you smoked 10 joints and, no crack vials, and then they bang your ass. Ridiculous. And then it's just insane. So now, just getting through the stolen car thing. Before that, it was the broken window thing that they broke in and stole $4 out of the cash drawer. And every time that they break in, it cost me $1,000 right off the rip. It cost me minimum $1,000 and aggravation. So now I got to deal with this bullshit to get the money to replace my skis or whatever else, because that's something I enjoy. Like, I really enjoy that, and they took that from me. And then Rachel was like, "Oh, well, let's just go out on the Delaware and let's find your skis." There's no fucking doubt in my mind that those crumbs are going to be out there showing off their friends on the islands that they hang out here and on the Delaware, because they know there's not going to be anyone out there checking their skis. And if you don't think I'll tell you, on a nice day that's out there, if there's not 100 skis out there on the islands with them partying, I would bet you 90% of them are stolen. But you know why they're out there? Because they know there's nobody that's going to check the VINs and registration on those cars. Nobody. There's nobody going to spot check them, nothing. And then they can just get away with it. Because there's not going to be no River Port Authority or Coast Guard stopping a Sea-Doo out there. They don't give a fuck. Don't give a fuck. Guarantee that. They won't take that to Ocean City or someplace. I've been stopped 4 times on my brand new skis in the last 2 years for a shakedown or just a spot check. Never got a ticket, but they're just doing their job. Hey, where are you going? I'm riding my fucking ski. Where do you think I'm going? Why don't you have numbers on your ski? Because I don't want that ugly ass shit on my skis. And they stopped me so many fucking times and harassed me about it that I put numbers on my skis. You think anyone's going to do that in Delaware? Nope. They're not even going to ask them if they have a boater safety license. You can fucking guarantee that. Why do you think there's so many more people riding in the shitty ass Delaware, sucking up diapers and crack needles and driving over stumps and trees floating in the water? Because that's what free and stolen gets you. That's where you have to go. You want to ride where it's nice and beautiful and there's no trash and there's no skank, go down to the shore where you got to pay to go to the beach. And then the Coast Guard is going to shake your ass down and check you out. So I'm not even going to bother, because I guarantee if I spent the day out there or a couple days out there, I'm going to find my skis. But that's what the police department should be doing, is like, well, he's like, well, I guess they're probably out there stealing other skis. No shit, motherfucker. No shit. You think I'm the first anything that they stole, like this is almost $40,000 of valued brand new shit. It ain't the first time. They rolled up in the van, thought they were just gonna hook up with it, backed up. 3 guys came. They're like, oh shit, he's got it locked at the ball. We don't have nothing to cut through it. Pulled to the end of the lot, made a phone call to somebody they knew that lived 7 minutes away. Got a Sawzall and was back in 14 minutes, right? 7 minutes up, 7 minutes, 14 minutes back with a Sawzall. One dude's out cutting it off. Once he cut it off, he waved the driver up with the white express van with the PVC white tubing on the back. Of course, my cameras aren't close enough on that side of the building. He hooked up, and then the white Charger, they blazed right out. The van went with the skis in front of them, and then he went right behind them, like nothing happened. And then they're gonna go brag to their friends and family that look what I got, look what I got, look what I stole from somebody who works hard. Yep. So white van definitely was a contractor, had no ID on it. He obviously didn't have a cordless Sawzall or anything to cut through the lock. And then the white Dodge Charger. And since the shop's so close, not really sure where he had to have known somebody close by with a Sawzall. So I told the cops, like, wow, they left the tow van at the shop. They all got in the car and they went to somebody's fucking house and at 12:30 at night and got a Sawzall and came back and cut the lock off. That's how fucking committed they were to stealing my shit. Pisses me off. And if I didn't have full coverage insurance on there, I'd be fucking out all that money for something I enjoy.